Well, we heard from our fabulous bacon lady. That was so cool.
Yes, I just I get panicky when I hear anything negative about the vaccine.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, it's
yeah.
because I mean I haven't heard anybody have problems with it. So,
You know,
it's like I know they're out there. That people are having an effect with it. So,
there's been the few people that have had allergic reactions, but they're usually people that are prone to, certain
right,
allergies.
something in the vaccine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then, yeah, usually almost everybody that I've had has either had nothing or
right.
they've had like maybe a couple days of feeling kind of like fluish, and then they're it's fine. So
Yeah,
yeah.
and it's usually, but if I've heard anything, it's usually in the second dose.
Yeah, that's what I've heard too. First dose, nobody hardly feels a thing. Second dose is when it hits them.
Yeah, and well, Sean says probably it's because you haven't fully taken in the first dose, so
Right.
it's like you're a little over, so you got to kind of wear it down.
Yeah. Well, and for people that don't really get this, because I work I'm part of one of my clients is funded, and I am funded through them to do COVID related stuff, including webinars and things like that. And one of the things that some people don't understand is they think this is kind of like the flu vaccine, where it contains, dead flu
Right,
things in. There is none of that. People are afraid that this is going to give them COVID-19, and COVID-19 is not in the vaccine.
right.
So you will not catch it. It's training your body to recognize it and to kick it kick it in the crotch.
Ow.
Yeah. So anyway, all right. Well, hi there. Well, thank you again, Miss Bacon, for giving us a call. I actually do not drink anymore at all. I just don't like it. Just don't like it. So I always just
Yeah.
keep my share to Tom.
Okay. Is that because you never get out of the house anymore, and you're not at
I
one of
am
the
a social
fairs
drinker.
going, "Oh my God, this is so boring. Give me cocktails."
Now, see that you got me there. There may be a little bit of that at some point where I'm just like, sweet Jesus, this is boring. Give me something to drink. But no, as a general rule, my body just says, blah, I don't like this anymore. So I don't even like getting a buzz. So I don't know. Fair. So that's why I have to try pop.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's see. So thank you again, Miss Bacon. And for everyone else, welcome to Chubb's Gone Wild, episode 386, recorded on the Ides of March 2021. It's currently, well, supposed to be about 61 degrees and sunny outside. I don't know how that's happening right now. But it is 230 days to Halloween and 285 days until Christmas. Wow. It's just whittling down. It's getting closer and closer. So weird. Do you know it's already 2.5 months into the new year? And I still feel like it's maybe the second week after January or in
Okay.
January.
I don't feel that at all, but go ahead.
Okay. It's also 2 days till St. Patrick's Day, where you got to put on your green or you're basically a freaking Egypt. Hold, please. All right. And we took a momentary mommy break and we're back. So, are you looking forward to Easter? It's only 20 days away.
No.
No? Do you do anything for Easter except eat candy?
No.
Yeah, pretty much here. Although I do sometimes get a wild hair and dye eggs, but they stink. When was you asking me a question? I just sworn you were asking me a question about something.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's just go ahead and move on then. And today's holidays are Act Happy. Oh, by the way, the 60, 61 and sunny, It's like 50 and rainy outside right now. Raindrops are coming down.
Are they?
Yeah. So anyway, also we dribble to work. We celebrate drumsticks. Everything you think is wrong. Well, that's what they tell me all day anyway. Also, we fill our staplers. Well, I guess I have a stapler somewhere, but it's already full because I haven't used it in a long time.
Well, I only fill a stapler when it's out, and you know why? When you keep them in the prepared stacks,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have them bunch up on each other like you do when you put a lot of little ones in there together.
Yeah.
And that's always a mess. So I always finish it first. But I do have a stapler somewhere here.
Yeah.
Who needs one anymore?
Down in the drawer, and then I have a one of those big handheld ones that you push real hard. And
oh well, those aren't staplers. Those are
staple guns.
They're like tools for putting up stuff in your yard
or art projects.
Okay, it seems a little extreme.
Well, that's when I would do my canvas art, with the t-shirts.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Yeah. Okay, because you need it tight and you need it not to come loose.
Yes, I need it tight. Anyway, today is also international. Well, of course, we just mentioned Ides of March. It is also International Day Against Police Brutality. Yes. International Eat an Animal for PETA Day. What?
It sounds like an anti-PETA group.
I'm horrified. Oh, all right.
I ate chicken today.
Well, I may have some hamburger later, but still, I'm not going to do it just to diss animal rights.
I am. No, I'm kidding.
Okay. It is also National Brutus Day, or Brute, as they said in ancient Greek when people got stabbed. Also, let's see, we've got Peanut Lovers Day. I do love some peanut lovers, mostly in peanut butter. Pears Helena. Have you ever had that?
What is it?
National Pears Helena Day.
No,
I
don't think so.
But I don't even really know what it is. Anyway.
But it's pears, like the fruit?
Yeah.
And what's the last word?
Helena?
Like
or Helena? Yeah.
Okay, I'll look it up.
Okay.
I'll look it up.
Okay. Maybe it's like the baked pears or something. Anyway.
That's usually poached.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And Shoe of the World? No. Welderly. I don't know what, I guess National Welderly Day. So, elderlies, I don't know. Also, National Workplace Napping Day. Oh, that sounds great. True Confessions Day. And also World Consumer Rights Day. That's awesome. I paused it. So
you did? Okay.
Hear me cough. I'm telling you, I don't know what's in the air this morning, but it is just like evolved.
Okay, the Pears Helena. Basically, you clean and the pear, you peel it and core it.
Okay.
You place it in a saucepan, sprinkle with sugar, cover on heat or a medium flame for about 5 minutes. Let's see what else it says. For about 5 minutes, reduce heat. Cook until pear is fork tender. And then I've seen some where they had some pictures where people pour like hot chocolate over it, put it on like ice cream.
Oh, well, that might not be too bad. But as a general rule, something like that would not appeal to me. I don't like a lot of fruit. Especially I don't like fruit in my food. I don't need dessert on my steak. Just saying. Anyway, so that was fun. But thank you for looking that up and educating all of our listeners. But yeah, that's not something I don't think I would really be into. All right. Today's affirmation is, I keep my inner child happy and I am happy too.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, last night on The Simpsons, um, Homer was all upset because he used to work at like a Chuck E. Cheese's, and he felt he had his best friends were the animals that rocked out, the animatronic characters,
Yeah.
and so he couldn't find them, and he was upset because he felt like his childhood was gone. And Marge goes, I don't usually tell you to do this, but let's eat those feelings away. And then the other guy that's oh god, I can't think of his name. He helps Homer eat his feelings. They both eat their feelings together, and then their stomachs come out underneath their shirt.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. Eat your feelings. I'm gonna try doing that later. Okay. All right, Patreon offers a way for folks to support creators and receive rewards not open to the general public, like special podcasts, videos, books, and more. And we want to thank our current patrons, Clint, Efi, Nick, DJ, Stoss, Andrew from Univox, Timothy, Eric, Juan Carlos, Brothers and Natives, Phoenix Dave, and Moves Pate. And please become a patron of the show over at patreon.com/MattBillingame for as little as $1 a month. Yay! All right. Well, we heard from Miss Bacon. And you know what? Another thing that we failed to acknowledge last week?
No.
Her birthday, because this is her birthday month.
Well, yeah.
The whole month is her birthday. Remember when we used to do secret birthdays? And then it was like her birthday for the entire month?
Yeah.
Fun. I missed that. But, whatever. All right. Today's birthdays, we celebrate Loki's birthday. Remember our sweet Loki?
Why is you bring him up every week, it seems like lately.
I don't know, maybe he changed his birthday, but it's today.
Okay.
Also, we did those, and let's see. Okay, so Andy, Chaser, and you know what? No, I'm not going to tell that story on this show. I'll save that for the other show. You know what I mean?
Which show?
My show.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, Owen, Colleen, Carla, Mario, Carter, Jason, Diane. Ooh, that dirty Liam. Also, Ray Lynn, who I actually heard from the other day. It's very interesting.
Why?
Just a hello on the Nextdoor, the scary Nextdoor app where all the Karens come on and say all the scary things about all the people that they don't understand in the neighborhood.
Well, there was a darker man walking down the street.
Yeah, and he had what could have been a weapon in his hand. Oh, right, that was his dog leash. Anyway, the Karens are so scary out there.
They really are.
They scare me more than the other stuff.
Well, I mean, it's kind of hilarious, but because it's real, it's not.
Oh, but did you hear? I don't know if you checked. Are you on Nextdoor?
Yeah.
So there's these three teenagers, like 12, 13, 14, that have been riding around the parks and stuff like that. And they've been driving or, cycling by and reaching out and hitting people in the head. And then they hear things like, I knocked his earbuds out and shit like that. And then there's videos of the three of them riding their bikes down the road and throwing rocks into the backs of cars to smash their windows. They're having a little reign of terror. But man, when they get caught, there are some pissed fucking neighbors out there. But I mean, imagine my mom walking down the sidewalk with her walker and some, fucking kid coming up and knocking her over. Little bastards. Anyway, so that's what's going on in our neighborhood. Also, happy birthday to Brett, Zachary, Greg, Daniel, Phyllis, and our Walker, that famous author, and also Kristen, Kristen. Yes, we're going with Kristen. And Alexandra. Now, she was our sweet little nun in Paperclip Messiah. She played Sister June. Anyway, but also we want to give a memorial birthday to Cal Ryder, who was the head of the Gear 365 movement, and he was a friend, and he passed about a year and a half ago. So anyway, very sad. All right. Moving on, it's time to send out some chub hugs. So I think I'll send some chub hugs out to Cal Ryder's family and his widow. There we go. How about you? What you got?
I'm sending chub hugs out to the tech workers, the IT people at Sutter Health and at CVS for not being able to update their fucking system so people over the age of 16 with conditions can get their vaccine today.
Yeah.
But because they haven't, only Kaiser in this area has updated their of the main ones. Kaiser's the only one that's had it done.
Yeah. Well, I don't understand that. I was very fortunate that my appointment's tomorrow, and I got notified early last week, and they just said, "Hey, do you want your appointment?" And I figured, they probably, singled out all the fatties and said, you know what, these bitches need to get their damn vaccines. But for whatever reason, I was able to get in.
Well, that's the reason.
There's the thing is that there's they're an independent.
Sure.
But they're on top of it. They're like, okay, well, this is going to happen, so let's start booking.
Yeah, there's no reason why these places have not updated their. I mean, it's so simple. Any IT guy can do this.
Yep.
But why has it not been changed yet? Because they're obviously idiots. Okay, I feel better now.
Yeah. Okay. Good. All right. Well, with that, let's go ahead and talk about. Well, Tom wants to talk to you about.
Well, let's see. Okay, there was no real TV on last week. It was just horrible. I mean, it was either reruns or it was nothing. I mean, it was like specials and just garbage stuff. I don't know. It's very upsetting. So I had to look around. I mean, we did have RuPaul, and this was RuPaul this week, which is not on network. That's why it was new.
Yeah.
They had normally they bring in fans for the queen to turn into their drag sister, right? Mm-hmm. But what happened was with COVID, because they filmed this last year in probably August, September, with COVID, they couldn't bring in more people into the bubble. So they had the queens do each other. No, not a kiki. What is it, Kiki?
Let's have a Kiki.
Yeah.
A Kiki.
Yeah. Brian didn't believe that was real. Brian didn't believe that's a real thing. He thought I was making it up.
Okay.
Anyway, so, but no, this was, they had to turn, whichever, how they got coupled up, they had to turn the other girl into them, and whoever they turned into themselves had to turn themselves into the other girl. Okay. So it was kind of fun. It was nice. They got a chance to work with people they hadn't, they hadn't really become friends with. And it was fun. Fortunately, most of the girls were the same, either height and or weight, except for one couple, but they didn't lose because of the weight thing. But it was really hard. One was the smallest person and the other was the heaviest person. Wow. So it's like, that's really tough. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Let's see. Masked Singer started this week. Masked Singer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And it was actually, well, it's always fun when it starts out. So they had Group A, and they had the first 5 people, and the person that ended up getting thrown off the show this week was the snail. Okay. And so the snail was kind of small, and you were kind of going, who's in the snail? That's weird. And then, but the snail had a mushroom, on its back. So it kind of made it look like there was body. Well, when they sang, and Sean goes, "It sounds like Bert or Ernie. You know, it sounds like Sesame Street something. No, it's Bert or Ernie," and it ended up being Kermit. And so I checked out the guy who does Kermit also does Ernie. How he figured that out, I don't know, because I was sitting there thinking he was an idiot. But I have this competition with Jaina and her daughter to see who can guess the most. And so Sean's one up this year. He's already up. And Jaina's like, "How did he know that? How would he ever know that?" And I'm I go, "I don't know. I mean, I didn't think so either, but he did say it." And Jaina goes, "Well, even though it was Kermit, it's still the same voicing. So
right,
what can you do?" Okay, so let's see, American Idol. I haven't watched this week's episode, which was last night, because I watched the Grammys, which were actually kind of decent. I only sped through a little bit of it. American Idol, it's the end of the auditions, and they did say that they were saving the best for last. So either there's some really good talent, or Vanessa Williams is going to sing. So I'm not sure. Then let's see. We've been really getting into The Crown on Netflix. We're only in the first season, but it's just I'm finding it fascinating and interesting, and the acting is good along along with it. So it's kind of fun, historical. It's historical and it's correct with its what it's saying. So because so many, you look at some of these older shows, and it's like, okay, that's not what happened. It's not what happened. But they're right now they're going through things with both the king that stepped down because he wanted to marry the divorced woman, and he gave up his crown for love.
Edward wanted to marry Miss
Wallace Simpson.
Yes, that's
scandal. And then they did the same thing with Margaret. She wanted to marry this guy, but he was divorced. So
that really was sad. I felt bad for Margaret.
But it's with what happened with Harry and Meghan Markle. You kind of see some symmetry there, and I'm not into the royal family. Everyone keeps going, "Oh, you sure are getting into the royal family." No, I'm watching a fucking show about them. It's not like but it's a part of history still.
Right. And that's the thing too, is I love the history of it and everything, but I mean that doesn't mean that I'm worshiping the whole monarchy and stuff. It's really interesting to me.
I think so too. Let's see, this was kind of fun. I found Designing Women, which is on Hulu. And because I wasn't a big Designing Women fan because I hated Delta Burke. No.
That's funny. I love Delta Burke, but I
like Delta Burke. I hated her sister.
Yes, and I'm blanking on her name, but
something with a D.
It doesn't. I'll look it up while you go.
Okay, but it was the first episode was kind of fun, because you really got Scott Bakula was the ex-husband of Ghostbusters girl, Annie Potts, Dixie Carter, yeah. Okay, and I can say that because I met her, So anyway, but the second episode was horrible. Not in the writing process, but the fact that it dealt with Delta Burke got Jean Smart to take out this guy who was a prospective client, but she didn't want to. She really didn't want to because she would never be interested in a fat man.
Yeah,
you remember that episode?
Very vaguely. Yeah,
it was so insulting. This guy wasn't even that fat.
Yeah,
I mean, he definitely wasn't you and I fat. But in those days, I remember I had at one point I had gotten down to 190 pounds, and everyone still called me fat.
Yeah,
and that was the late 70s. So I understand the situation, but it was a really, really disturbing
Yeah,
episode because of that.
the only thing that show did to make up for that was when Delta Burke got big and she went to her high school reunion and she delivered this whole speech because people were making fun of her the whole time.
Yeah.
And she did, and it was a beautiful speech. It was like a showstopper, kind of like the lights went out in Georgia, but it was Delta Burke that gave the speech.
Right. So I did that, and then I found Mad About You, which was the reboot that they did for Spectrum. I finally found out what Spectrum is.
Yeah, I still don't know.
It's a cable company. So that would be like Xfinity having the reboot of Friends, but it wouldn't be available to anybody but people who had Xfinity.
Wow.
Isn't that weird?
Nobody.
So that's why it was so hard to find when it first came out. So it's Mad About You. It's got the same cast, as far as I can remember. I know that the sister and the brother are the same people.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, well, first of all, best written reboot.
Yes.
And just actually overall the best reboot I've seen of any of better than Will and Grace, better than what else has been reboot. Whatever's been Murphy Brown, all of them. This was by far the best I've seen. Yeah. I'm 5 episodes in. I did 3 episodes in a row, and I never do that.
Yeah, the only show that I could say that comes close to it with reboot would be like maybe The Conners. But other than that, this was and I was so happy I got to watch those episodes of that you're talking about of Mad About You. It made me love them and the show so much because it's so real.
Right, and I love the fact that the first episode is Mabel, which is the daughter, who basically killed the show to begin with. She has moved out and gone to college. Of course, college is 5 blocks that way. She's at NYU, which is a hilarious. It's the running gag during the whole first episode because they're all like, "Oh my God, your daughter has left and gone to college. She's 5 blocks that way. It's not that far. We can walk there. It's okay." Yeah. But what happens is, like so many couples, when their children are gone, because you go from a couple who have lots in common, like to do things together, then they become this, they become this family with multiple kids or even one kid. But when that kid's gone, then they have to go back to being the couple that they haven't been for 18 to however many years. Right. So it was really, and it's really well written. She's Jamie is really, oh, I'm fine, nothing's wrong. And the Paul Reiser's like, oh no, it's terrible. We can't. I'm so sad. And then of course it flips by the middle of the episode, and Jamie's really distraught over it because she was a non-working mother. She worked in the home and took care of the daughter. So her days consist of texting with her while she's at school and hanging out with her in the house at night, watching television, and now that's all gone.
Yeah,
and it's so I thought it was a really, really well done show. I can't wait to finish the episodes. And as you mentioned on Facebook, it hasn't been canceled and it hasn't been renewed. Because if you think about it, it only came out at the end of 2019, and then we were in a pandemic. So I'm hoping that people will go and watch it on Prime, and we'll get some interest back in there and see if they can't, Prime can't buy it from Spectrum and say, we'll take it off your hands.
Yeah, because it is. I crave more episodes, and that's rare for me.
Right. Brian did get me to watch the Drew Barrymore talk show. Have you seen this thing?
I didn't know there was one.
It is just awful show. I mean, first of all, she's got Ross Matthews as her sidekick. And I guess he started off being like just on there a little bit. Now he's on there all the time because
I would think that he would overpower her.
Yeah, well, he kind of does, but Well, first of all, she's a really good prompter reader, except when she says some of the words, she doesn't know what she's saying.
Okay.
So that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
But it's the rest of it is just like, I mean, an hour of Drew Barrymore is far more than people should have to endure in one day.
I adore her, but I can't disagree with you.
Yeah, and but it's something to watch one time.
Okay.
And then let's see. There's a new show on Netflix called Marriage or Mortgage, and it's kind of like that show on HS, the home channel, where one person tries to find them a new house, and the other person tells them what they can do with their old house to make it more of what they want. So
is it Curb Appeal or something?
Oh, it's Love It or List It.
Oh.
So basically this is the same thing. The first couple that we watched, they had $30,000 to either go for a wedding or to go for a down payment for their house.
Wow.
Okay. And you know, well, my wedding cost under $200. So yeah. I'm really big on not spending money on weddings, because I think they're wonderful if you got the cash to just blow, but I would much rather, like, remember Father of the Bride with Steve Martin?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, when that wedding got over $250,000, and in 1991, imagine what a house he could have bought them for $250,000.
Oh yeah.
30 years ago, that would have been a really nice house.
Oh yeah.
And they could have started off with no mortgage, and no, they wanted the wedding. So I
think that's ridiculous.
Yeah, so I was yelling a lot during the show that you people are stupid. Right. Then Moxie, which is a new movie on Netflix. You'll really like it. Okay. You personally, Brian will hate it. You will like it. It's a girl power show. Mm-hmm. Basically, this new black girl starts at the school. The quarterback of the football team, what he does is he starts hitting on her very aggressively, and she's like, no thank you. And then it gets worse, and then she gets ruder, and then he gets meaner. And one of the girls, who is her mother is Amy Poehler, who also directed the show. Amy Poehler's daughter is in the same class, and so she is tired of watching the males of the school get away with everything. So she starts a little newspaper that she keeps in the girls' bathroom called Moxie. And it's basically getting girl power back together, and we don't have to put up with this shit. So it was a real likable show. Like I said, you'll really like it. Brian would not, because, you know, it's sensitive to women. Let's see, then what else? There was one other thing. Since I can't watch MSNBC as much as I used to, because I would watch, 4, 6, 7 hours. I don't know. I would watch it a lot during the day. And now it's just like everything's great, and we're, the GOP is being obstructive, but other than that, everything's great. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I can't deal with this, for an hour more or less than all day. So now I'm into stock market shows. Oh, okay. So I'm learning a lot about the stock market. We just had the closing bell, and I'm just dying right now to find out what's going on. But anyway, so I've got 3 hours, but it's been right around 5 that I've been spending watching them. So, well, I'm home, it's not like I go out. So that's that.
You'll be able to pass your knowledge down to the rest of us.
Right. And there's a new show on NBC now called Debris, and it's about a spacecraft that was that was out in somewhere out there. Anyway, it obviously had broken down, or it was not active, but now it's starting to come through the Earth's atmosphere, and and so the first few episodes, we're seeing what's happening to the people who get close to the debris, and also we're finding out that the government wants to try to build back the spaceship.
Oh, well, of course.
And we found that out the first episode, so it's not really a spoiler. Yeah. It is a spoiler, but not really. It's okay. At least I just think it's going to be okay. This is the person affected of the problem of the week.
Yeah.
This piece of a ship landed in this farming area, and it's affecting all the animals, or something like that. So, and then the next week it lands in a high rise, and it goes through a window, and people didn't realize that, the place that got hit with it, now everyone's being affected on that floor, kind of thing.
Now, so, what is the effect of it? Is it?
Well, it depends. It's
powers, or
it's some of it's it's very subjective. The guy in the second one was duplicating himself. Kind of like the Horcrux type thing.
Yeah.
Where he would, so he was, and they would have each one of them would have a different personality of the one guy.
Wow.
And another one was this woman was, there's this little boy in the back seat of her car, and she kept calling it her son, but he wasn't. He was really a dead child that was created by a woman who was right near the site. And so this child keeps leading all these people back to the spot that he was killed. So it was interesting. It's a wait and see kind of show, but it's definitely keeping my interest. And then of course we had the Grammys last night, which by the way were actually pretty good for Grammys. I mean, I didn't know pretty much anybody. I can't say I'm happy with the winners, because anytime Taylor Swift wins again, I'm bored. But she really doesn't need to have 5 best albums ever. I mean, 3 best albums, and I don't think anyone's ever had more than 1.
Well, maybe she's got staying power, especially after everything in the industry shits on her.
No, actually, it's because Adele she's had 2.
She deserved it.
Yeah. So anyway,
Dolly doesn't have like 100, but she just kind of released 5 albums and then kept making greatest hits from all of them.
And then the Oscar nominations came out today.
Oh,
and they were, first of all, I remember reading that it was always going to be 10 best pictures, and there were only 8. So I don't know what that was all about. And because it's just been such a weird year, it's funny because one of the 49 Pride 48 people had said, "Wow, what a dark group of nominees this is," and it's true. It is. They're very dark. They're heavy moments in history that they're talking about, or I mean, even the nomad's land. The people traveling, because you and I, they're perfectly happy doing what they are, but I feel bad for them.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a mixed bag, but the whole thing was crazy. It's just a crazy group of movies, and most of them never played in a movie theater. Which is very strange.
That's true, huh?
Yeah.
Was Wonder Woman nominated for anything?
I don't think so. I don't think she even got nominated for like costumes.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, well, the only good part about that show was Kristen Wiig and the costumes.
Well, see, I loved the Wonder Woman whenever she was on screen, but Kristen Wiig, I thought she was really good. Did a great performance. I hated that they didn't make the character, I don't know, more something. The whole thing just lacked. I was like, what is it that Marvel can do that the other studio just can't get their shit together to make these films? They've got the lore, they've got the backstory, they've got great characters, they've got great actors. They've got huge budgets, they've got special effects, and it still comes out lacking. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't understand. Because they should be better than that.
Yeah, a lot better. I mean, they actually managed to pull off a great film with the first Wonder Woman, but they ended up having to go back and do a bunch of stuff to it. Maybe they snuck it into the Marvel people and they said, okay, do this and this, and it'll make it better. Anyway, so that's your week?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, my week started me off with the mom report. She is doing very well. She's still a little weak, having some trouble getting up and down the stairs. In fact, she fell at one point, but it was easily rectified. And we have a deal now that whenever she goes outside, out back, that when it's time for her to come in, she always takes her phone and she gives me a little buzz, and I go out and help her in, and that's our trust, so that I know that she's okay, and then she can have freedom to go out whenever she wants. We actually did take a small drive today, and we got haircuts. She's been really bugging me for wanting to go get a haircut, and she also wanted to take the car out and test her driving skills, and it was just a nice little jaunt. And then we stopped and got some bird seed, and it was very fun. Yeah. So, excuse me, I'm sorry. There's just a lot of dust in the air, and I have my allergy kicking my ass. Let's see. So I caught up on the newer episodes of Call Me Kat. The show is finally hitting its stride, is doing really well. I'm really enjoying it, and I'm enjoying the characters. They're finally giving me character development, not throwing me into the middle of. And this is one of the things that watching the early episodes again, there was no character development. Here's this person who we're supposed, Kat, who we're supposed to like, surrounded by lovable, crazy people, and the guy that she likes, but we have no idea really why she likes him, nor do they have any real chemistry. And then there's, a few other characters here and there. I don't know who these people are. Make me like these characters. Anyway, finally, the character development is happening. The jokes are getting better. The writing's getting better. Maybe even the directing's getting better. The show's hitting its stride, and I just hope now that it's not too late to keep going, because it's actually really getting good. And the chemistry between the tall, beautiful gay guy and Maya Bialik is actually working, because he is now showing.
He's not gay.
Oh yes, he is. Well, not on the show, but in
not
real
on
life.
The show, but you're confusing the people.
Oh, okay. So not on the show. On the show, he's straight, but in real life, he is a big, beautiful man with thick ass thighs. Gorgeous. Anyway, so yeah, the chemistry is finally happening, and although I still, Susie Kurtz just was a bad choice for the mom, and I love her, I adore her, but she just was not a good choice for the mom. All right, so I guess I've been in a trilogy kind of mood. I went back and watched all the Lord of the Rings trilogy this week, and I really enjoyed them. They, the effects and are, I hate to say it, but at this point they're almost look a little dated. But I didn't care. I loved it. It was good. It was so gay. It was gayer than I remember. That was just gay all over the place. Made it better. Anyway, so very fun. And then I thought, well, as long as I'm down the Hobbit trail, I went ahead and I watched the Hobbit trilogy as well. And man, did they. Okay, so I had these feelings when I watched it in the first place, but watching it again and actually like really paying attention to it, dear God, they stretched that shit out. It was like 5 minutes of something meaningful and 20 minutes of a great big action sequence fight, because there was nothing to The Hobbit, and they made 3 movies out of it, 3 very long movies. Wow, I don't know how they did it. But it was still, the characters were there. It was fun. It kept me interested. Then I decided, well, as long as I'm watching some trilogies, let's go back and watch something that I haven't watched in about 20 years. So I watched The Matrix. Yes, I watched all 3 Matrix films. And number one, I forgot Keanu Reeves was that cute. See, everything agrees with me. The angel dings. And I just, when I saw him in the first film, I'm like, wow, you're a tasty little morsel. I completely forgot that. Not that he's not now, but
Now it's you objectifying men, which is
damn right I am. If someone's cute, I'm going to say that they're cute. And he was adorably cute. Yeah, but the first one was good. I enjoyed it. The other 2, the action was nice. I liked the actors. I actually forgot. Now, did you watch? Oh, sorry, Tom's talking.
I'm not talking.
Oh, okay.
I'm watching the TV. It's got the stocks on.
Okay. Did you watch Daredevil?
Yes.
The Netflix series.
Oh no.
Okay. Actually, you might really like it. The first one's kind of like, okay, give it a little bit to get into it, but the others are really good, and the characters are good too. But there is a high-powered lesbian lawyer on that. I did not even place that it was Trinity from Matrix, so I just ended up loving her more. But yeah, the second 2, the number 2 and number 3, wow, what a bunch of techno babble bullshit that meant nothing. I'm sure that there's some hardcore Matrix fans out there that's like, oh, I understood it perfectly and everything. Well, sure. I mean, you can apply whatever meaning you want to it. Maybe it'll make sense to you. I'm glad that it does. But for the rest of us, just get to the next action scene, because I don't want to hear this shit.
Oh, it was those 2 and 3 were so hard to sit through.
Yes.
They were long, and they were long.
Yeah, and there was nothing to them.
No.
And they tried to make it some esoteric, computer reality statement, and it just fell flat. So yeah. So anyway, but it was kind of fun to watch the original one again. Past that, Last Romance is supposed to be in its final editing status, and one of my main editors has gone off into family land. So I'm not sure what exactly I'm going to do with that, but it is what it is. I'm still hoping to get it out next month. And then we already talked about my vaccination. So with that said, we want to remind you to be loud, be proud, be too much, and to be you. Because Fat Market Clothing wants those of us who've been told that we are too much of something to turn those negatives into positive. And Chubbs listeners, you can do that with the code FMWildChub to get 20% off anything while ordering over at fatmarkerclothing.com. All right. Would you like to hear some advice? Well, whether you do or not, here we go. I married my partner in a quiet online ceremony due to COVID. I'm a man, she's a woman, and we decided beforehand that I would take her last name. We had a few reasons for this decision, one of them being that her name would sound like a famous comic book character, think Lois Lane, if she had taken mine. That would make me want to take his right then. Anyway, we didn't mention this except to a few friends since it didn't seem like big news. My family never asked, and I never thought to mention it. So They heard about it the first time on our wedding day when the officiant, that would be me, announced their names, our names. They seemed shocked but were quiet at the time. Dirty. Then, since then, they have raised the subject well over 100 times. My mom actually phoned me in tears asking me why I rejected our family name, while my dad constantly implies that my lovely wife, whom he previously really liked, is a monstrous control freak. My mom and brother were both horrified, and I didn't insist our future children carry on my name. And when I tried to remind them that we're not actually, all right, you had to throw this shit in there. Monarchical dynasty, there, said it. They switch tactics and claim that we must simply prefer my wife's family to mine. Honestly, right now that's true because her family have responded perfectly reasonable, while mine are behaving like this. I've taken to ending conversations with my parents and brother when they raise the issue, which has been every single conversation. My wife was very upset the last time we spoke because they shouted at her for emasculating me. I'm anxious that they not get the chance to yell at her again. Can you advise me on a way to firmly shut down this topic once and for all? It's been 6 months now. I feel like I've told them this repeatedly. We're not discussing this in every call, and I'm at my wit's end. We were close before, but they seem willing to die on this hill and are actually begging me to change my name back if I don't reason with my wife. Okay, first off, why did you have to change your name anyway? Why did either of
Yeah,
them have to change their name?
I know
You
that.
don't
Well,
have to do that
that's
anymore.
just well, it usually has something to do with the children, but
Yeah.
you can always do a hyphenated child's name.
Yeah,
They can be you know Kent Lane, is their last name.
right. Exactly. That's good. I like that. Kent Lane. Lane Kent. No, no, anyway.
Well,
I like
depending
yours
on
better.
yeah.
Yeah, this stupid. If they're really ready to die on the hill over the name, especially when there's a brother who's going to keep the name and carry on the legacy of the family or whatever, just stop talking to them.
Well,
Eventually,
I wouldn't say stop talking to them, but obviously this person is a namby-pamby and can't talk, doesn't want to put, doesn't want to talk too poorly to their family. They don't want to get upset. It's like, guess what? This is the way it is. You either get over it or we'll just cut you out.
yeah.
And that usually does it.
Well, okay. I'm not opposed to that idea, but let's see what dear Prudy has to say. I don't mean to make light of your situation because it sounds absolutely demoralizing, but there's something a little funny about the image of three adults throwing a 6-month-long temper tantrum about emasculation and the innate wickedness of women in general acting like Lancastrians who've just seen the red rose removed from their bannermen and country houses after the Battle of Northampton. Where the hell did she pull all this shit from? All over a grown man changing his name from Derek Prince to Derek Swafford. It would be tempting, but probably counterproductive to send them all a link to Oprah's recent interview with Harry, pending last name, and Meghan Markle. Last name pending. Okay, whatever. The circumstances are unfortunate, but the road ahead is clear. There's nothing to do to stop taking their other than stop taking their calls entirely, I'm afraid. If they're going to listen to reason or catch themselves after the first few prematurely ended conversations, they would have done so. You've given them countless opportunities to behave reasonably, and treat you like an adult capable of making your own decisions, but they declined. I realize this may be painful and bewildering if you considered your relationship to be close before this, but don't let that bewilderment confuse you into another 6 months of putting up with cruel nonsense. It may be out of character for them, or it may be simply in character and you've simply not seen this side of them before because you never displeased them before. Protect your wife from continued harassment and safeguard your own peace of mind by not answering their calls, deleting their voicemails, and ignoring their emails. If at some point they're able to say, "We're very sorry for how we've behaved. We won't ever bring up the name change again, and we'd like to try to reestablish a relationship with you. If you're open to it, you can revisit the possibility of a conversation, but don't settle for less."
Yeah.
Whatever. People are dumb. Hi, hey Chubbs, Apple or Android?
Apple.
Same. Hey Chubbs, did you like the Back to the Future films?
You know, it's funny because I like the first and the third one, but the second one just kind of escapes me. I know that the one guy finds the book on sporting records, and that's how he makes all his money, and that's what changes the future. But I just remember the second one being like a wah wah.
Yeah.
But then the third one was so good.
The third one?
Yeah, the Western.
I might actually go back and watch. See, I hate Westerns, and I hate time traveling Western shit. I don't know why, I just do. And they always go back to the Wild Earth shit. Anyway. So, let's see. Yeah, okay. So I'm kind of the same way. I loved the first one. I'm pretty sure that I thought the third one was a good solid one, but I don't remember half the shit and the rest of it. All right. What's in your lunchbox? Well, Mr. Moose wrote in and he said, "Here's what's in my lunchbox." Hey, well, hubby got his second COVID vaccine yesterday. Oh. And he had a miserable night of chills and fever. Oh dear. He has run a fever all day and hasn't gotten off the sofa. Well, the first part, anyway, he finally feels like eating a little something, so I cooked a favorite, oven fried chicken and country gravy. Wow. Sorry, people. Mashed potatoes.
Is that green bean casserole?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Mashed potatoes made extra rich by adding half and half instead of milk.
Right.
Green bean casserole. He loves that. In other words, this is going to look like a repeat meal. So, that is green bean casserole. You know what? I have never had a green bean casserole that I have liked. And I know that so many people like it. There must be some recipe of it that I'm just
no. It's a like or not like.
Yeah.
Well, I think what I don't like about it is that it's the cream of mushroom soup that you add to it, because then it always just seems so, just I don't know. I guess I don't like creamy vegetables.
I gotcha. Oh yeah.
I'm more of, because like when I grew up with my mom had, come to find out that she had bad teeth. So because she had bad teeth, all the vegetables were cooked to grayness.
Okay.
Even the corn. It's just like we never had salads because they were hard to chew. So she would make, it's like green beans were always soft and everything was soft. But when I got out of the house and found out that you can actually steam vegetables or microwave them and they come out beautiful, or even saute them, and keeping their color and keeping their crunch. Yeah. All of a sudden I like the freshness of vegetables more than I like the mutilation of them.
Yeah, Lawrence actually, he steamed um, long, fresh green beans.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking like the ones with the stringy ends. I mean, these are all packaged and everything, and you just pop them in. And the way he cooks them, they are so good. But he steams them too. Anyway,
Well, and
so
that's, I'll tell you, what I do with my green beans is I steam them to they're almost done, and then I saute them with olive oil and or bacon grease,
oh yeah.
and just to get some color on them,
Hmm.
and serve them that way. They're still crunchy, and then you can season them and all in the pan. It's really nice. You can butter it and really get the butter into the vegetable. I do the same thing with Brussels sprouts.
I know you said that, and it's funny. I was just thinking about Brussels sprouts. Lawrence loves them, and they're just like so delicious to him. And I'm like, they're nasty little skunk balls. Uh, but I swear people talk like you sound like you have a really great recipe that I'd be interested in kind of trying to see if
Well,
maybe they didn't taste like nasty little skunk balls.
right. Well, it's just I mean, they're basically just cabbage, cabbage,
No.
baby cabbages.
But there's a little there is a not a pheromone. There is a chemical that is in like that and a few other vegetables and stuff that some people have a reaction to. And so it tastes bad to them. And I just kind of wonder, well, am I that person or have I just never tasted them done right?
I think you probably haven't tasted them done right, because once I found out how to make them, we can't eat them fast enough. They're so good. They're like, it's like we do the same thing with carrots. It's with actually you can do it with most vegetables. You basically, we steam them in the microwave just before they're done, and then a quick sear with olive oil or butter or garlic or whatever you want to season them up with, and then you serve them when they're just done, and it's amazing. And actually, with the Brussels sprouts, I like to sear them a little more, but you got to cut them in half. Cutting them in half is the secret to get rid of that skunk.
Oh,
See, because even if you steam them and you cook them afterwards in garlic and butter, it's still going to have, when you bite into them, you're still going to have the
yeah.
so you cut them in half, and I usually sear them open side down, so the flat side down, and it sears right out of that and pumps all that good flavor right into them. And I mean,
really good.
oh my God, I've made batches that were so good that you eat them so quickly. I can't even tell you. I can't even tell you.
Okay. Well, okay, so that sounds really good. Threw me for a second there. The chicken and the gravy and the potatoes that he made sounds really, really yummy.
Yeah, oh, it
A
does.
little off on a green bean casserole, though.
But you know what? A lot of people like the green bean casserole because it is a comfort food to them.
Okay.
And it's a comfort food to them because it reminds them of Thanksgiving. It reminds them of family. And it's weird how foods like that really can, I mean, when I'm making like lasagna, because I make it like my mom used to make it, and it brings back a time period. I was just talking to some friends that my mother used to make a stand-up roast. Actually, it wasn't a stand-up roast; it was just a roast, and she would cut into it and put garlic into garlic pieces into the roast, all the way around, and cook it. And it was the best thing you've ever tasted. And none of us, and we all remembered it. All my friends remembered it. That was the best, but we could never duplicate it.
Right. Yeah.
It's so weird how it's just so hard to duplicate certain things. But I did duplicate her lasagna, if not made it better.
Oh, really? Oh, that's good.
Oh yeah, I make a killer lasagna.
Wow. After this summer parties, I have to ask you to bring it.
I will.
What was it? Oh, Did we have the conversation on here about how restaurants cannot fucking make good macaroni and cheese?
Yes, we talked about it.
Okay, we did. I wasn't sure if it was us or
I'm pretty sure it was us on the show doing it because yeah, I remember that it was we talked big time because they just can't, and
Right.
it's like and everyone talks about, oh, the best thing that this place has is their macaroni and cheese, and I taste it and it's like, okay, it's dry.
It's mush. It has no taste. There's no seasoning.
No, mine is always dry. I want cheesy macaroni. I want it
Yeah.
because I remember my mom used to make the Kraft macaroni and cheese, but with the can of Velveeta.
Oh,
Not the powder, with the can of Velveeta, and it whipped up, and you added butter and milk to it, and it was just this cheesy, wonderful mess.
What?
And
Yeah.
and now, no.
Nothing. None of the places, even the local barbecue place, it's all crap. Funny, Kraft macaroni and cheese actually is a comfort food for me. That and actually one of the things that we used to do to fill it out would be to add like a can of tuna to it. And yeah, that's comfort food. All right. Speaking of, currently LGBTQ people of color in America have a disproportionately high rate of new HIV infections. Golden Rule Services of Sacramento, along with the HIV Planning Council, want you to know that there's an important tool in preventing you from contracting HIV. Pre-exposure prophylaxis, aka PrEP, is a medication proven to be 99% effective in preventing HIV infection. To learn more about PrEP, call your local sexual health clinic. In Sacramento County, California, contact Golden Rule Services at sacgrs.org or to get started on your protecting your sexual health. All right, current topics. Eddie Izzard vows that he's going to be the first trans parliament member, no matter how many times she has to run.
Yay.
Yeah, I'm totally for that. The Biden-Harris administration delivers 24 pro-LGBTQ actions in the first 50 days. That's almost one a day. Great.
Well, speaking of one a day, last week when we hit
one every other day. I mean,
we hit the year-long pandemic.
Yeah.
From the start of it, and we had hit 565,200 deaths.
Yeah.
Which of course makes reference to Seasons of Love song from Rent, which is 1 minute for the last year somebody in this country has died over COVID.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a terrifying thing. Well, not just that it happened, but then, when you put it, you compare it with the song and it's just like, that's just awful.
It really is. Yeah. White House warns states that their anti-transgender bills are illegal. Also, Biden issues executive order against gender discrimination in education, including LGBTQ people. All right. And the only other story that I have here is, well, did you hear about Blake McCoy?
I'm not sure who that is.
Okay, so he was an anchorman. He's a news person. And, well, I'm sorry, but Blake McCoy sounds like a fake gay name like Biff Dickerson or, Lance Navarro. So, anyway. Anyway, so he insted his sex video. So he Instagrammed a sex video of himself, which seems to be a thing nowadays, whatever. And I was all like sympathetic, and I'm all like, oh, well, I hope that's, sucks. I hope he doesn't get fired over it. As you do, whatever. However, then I find out that he has been recently suspended, and Mr. Nephi pointed this out to me. He said he's been recently suspended as an anchor after he tweeted that he was enraged that obese people were getting vaccinated for COVID before deserving people. So, you know what? That bitch can go fuck himself. Oh, wait. If he did, he'd probably put it on Instagram. Yeah.
Well, these are the same kind of people that said, why are we, why are we giving vaccine to the old people? They're going to die anyway soon.
But we're fat people. We're not deserving. We're not real. We don't.
Well, I'm not surprised. I mean, you heard what one of the senators said about the situation at the Capitol, that when they were, coming into the Capitol, he wasn't really worried because they were white. Now, if it had been Black Lives Matter, he might have been a little more worried.
Right.
But because he's white, these are his people.
Mm-hmm. And was this a Democrat or a Republican?
It was a Republican, of course.
Republican, of course. He was probably part of it. He probably gave them the map.
Well, they did. They do have the names of the people who gave tours to some of these people the days before. So, I like that.
Wonder if anything will ever come of it.
We'll see. Something better.
Yeah. Try to overthrow the country, and they'll be like, "Oh, you guys go home. We're too busy dealing with Black people and Antifa."
Oh my God.
I know. And not only that, but punch them in the taco. Moving along, send us an email at chubsgonewild@gmail.com. Leave us a comment at chubsgonewild.com. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/chubsgonewild. Please become a patron of the show if you like what we do. Over at patreon.com/MattBurlingame. Find Tom's movie and TV reviews at swanandjudd.com for the podcast, the written word, or find them in iTunes. Oh, okay. For the podcast, and find them in iTunes and on iHeartRadio. Are you guys not writing anymore?
What?
Find Tom's movie and TV reviews at swanandjudd.com for the podcast. Find them in. Oh, I gotcha. Find them in the. Go find them. Find out more about my books over at justkisstheguy.com and check out my other podcast at bigasexshow.com. Also, give us a call at
408-69-CHUBS.
Yes, Queen. We'll have to get together after we've both been vaccinated, and then we'll have to do each other up in drag. Then we can.
That's not going to happen.
Stars. Oh, you look good in drag. I loved your Queen of Hearts. That was probably one of my favorite costumes you've ever done. So. All right. Well, we love y'all. We hope you're staying safe. We hope you're going to go get vaccinated, and we'll catch you next week. Bye.
Bye.